The first right that a man has is to be obeyed. His obedience in everything that is not haram. There's only one thing that's haram, meaning one category. Everything else is allowed. Even if your husband tells you to do something that is makruh, meaning that it's preferred that you don't do that thing, but you don't get a sin for doing that, the wife has to obey him in that. And she can only disobey him in those things that are haram. Understand my point there? So if it's allowed to drink ketchup that's Mott's and the other one is Hunt's, is ketchup, then the husband wants Mott's, you have to get the Mott's. Whether you like the Hunt's or everybody in the house likes this one style and your husband likes this, he wants that, you have to get that. If it's makruh, dislike to do a thing, but your husband says do that thing, the wife has to do that thing and she doesn't have the choice to disobey him. If he orders her to do something haram, then and only then has she the right to refuse. Then she has the right to refuse, and only then. The Prophet ﷺ, he said in a well-famous hadith that's authentic, and all the hadith that I checked are all authentic that I'm bringing here today, he said that if he was going to order, لَكُنْتُ آمِرًا, if I was going to order anyone, to prostrate, to fall on their face before anyone, I would have ordered a woman to prostrate to her husband. This is the great right that a man has over his wife. The Prophet ﷺ also said that if a man had on his back sores with pus on it, and his wife were to lick them to cool off the pain that he had, she still would have not given him his right, his full right. So the right of the husband over the woman is azim, is great. And women need to understand this right in order to, because these obligations that Allah has given to some people and rights for others are to achieve the objective that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed in marriage. Any other way is not going to get it. Because Allah perfected the deen. You ain't coming with nothing better. You ain't coming with nothing better, so your best bet is to do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered you to do in the way that He ordered you to do it. So Allah's Messenger said that the best woman, when he was asked, can I tell you the best woman of Jannah? He said, or the women of Jannah, he said, marry the walud, إِذَا غَضِبَتْ أَوْ أُوسِيَ إِلَيْهَا أَوْ غَضِبَ زَوْجُهَا قَالَتْ هِيَ هذه يدي في يدك لا أكتحل بغمضي حتى ترضى. She said what could mean, the women of Jannah are the women who, when she gets angry, or if some evil, you do something that upsets her and that's not really good for you, for her, it's not good for her either, or you get angry at her, she says, she puts her hand in your hand, she said, I'm not going to taste sleep until you please with me. This is from the adab, this is the advice the ulama give us to remind the ladies of the rights of the husband over the women. The next one is taslimu nafsiha. Taslimu nafsiha lahu mata talabaha. The next right or obligation the woman has over the men is that the woman, whenever the man asks for her to come to him, for him to have sex with his wife, she has to come, she has to respond to him, even if it's not to have intercourse, even if he just wants to hug her, kiss her, or whatever he wants to do with her, she has to submit to this. This Western idea, oh, I got a headache, oh, not tonight, I'm mad, all this is not Islam. This breaks the objective, one of the major objectives of marriage, for a man to protect himself from the fitna of zina. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said. He said, وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ مَا مِنْ رَجُلٍ يَدْعُ امْرَأَتَهُ إِلَى فِرَاشِهِ فَتَأْبَى عَلَيْهِ إِلَّا كَانَ الَّذِي فِي السَّمَاءِ سَاخِطًا عَلَيْهَا حَتَّى يَرْضَ عَنْهَا. He said, what could mean? I swear by the one in whose hand is my soul, there's no man from amongst any men who calls his wife to her bed or to his bed and she refuses, this means to have any type of intercourse or this type of stuff with her, except the people in the sama, not the people, the ones in the sky, meaning the angels, the inhabitants in the sky and the Uri'in, they curse her. Imam al-Nawawi say, la'anahuma, they curse her continuously until the morning or until she makes tawbah or until her husband no more wants her like that. This is a continual curse for the woman to understand. You are being cursed by the inhabitants of the heavens by refusing to submit to yourself to your husband. Going on, the next right the husband has, an obligation the woman has, is that she doesn't fast in the presence of the husband, except that he gives her permission, and she doesn't let anyone come into her house except that he's pleased with. I don't care if it's your mother, your father, your sister, or your brother. If your husband doesn't allow that person, doesn't want that person, doesn't give you permission to allow that person in his home. She doesn't, he doesn't have the right to come here. We have the hadith where Abu Sufyan came to visit his daughter, and she almost refused, the wife of the Prophet, almost refused to let him in, not realizing, knowing if the Prophet would allow him to come in her house, come in his house. This is the father of the wife. So if that's the case with the Messenger of Allah, that's the case with us. No one has the right to end. No sister you don't like, if you don't like them, they can't be there. You have the obligation to keep your house, men, to keep your house in a peaceful vibe that is pleasing to you. Going on, and I'm going to speed up a little bit here. The next rights are together, but it's for the right of the husband, for the women to help him in protecting his deen and his honor and his wealth. We have the famous narration where Ismail had married the woman from Jurthum, and Ibrahim came and visited her, and she was complaining and saying how nasty her life was and everything, and he told her to divorce her. Divorce her. This lady, she got no respect for you. Women always chatty, talking bad about you, telling your business, telling everybody how bad things are. This is an order from a prophet to divorce, and the Messenger of Allah is mentioning this for it to be mawjood, to be present in our Sharia now. But this type of behavior is not allowed. Then when he married another woman and his lifestyle didn't change, he said, what do you eat? Meat. What do you eat? What do you drink? Water. And she was happy with that. He said, take care of her. Hold on to her. Preserve her. And this is in order for us also to take care of our wives. Going on, it says, okay, for a woman, this goes on to the last one, for her to take care and to be in the service, cooking and cleaning, keeping the house up, taking care of his children, even if they're not her children from another marriage. She's to prefer his children over her children in tafsir. And some of the ulama are in difference of opinion. Should she have to do the work in the house? And the strongest opinion is yes, because Fatima went to the Prophet ﷺ asking for a servant. She was married to Ali, and the Prophet didn't say, you don't got to do that anyway. He didn't say, no, you don't have to work. He said, rather, say after every salah, to say 30 and 33 times, subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, one time, wallahu akbar, to do that. And so the ulama say, if it wasn't upon her to do that work, and Fatima, her hands got hard, her feet were cracking. This woman was a housewife working. And then the daughter Asma, who was Abu Bakr, the one who was also married to Zubair, she used to work with the horses. All this proves that the woman has to do what is ma'aruf, what is well known in each society for a woman to do as far as housework and these type of things. So she can't refuse. I ain't got to do this stuff. No, it's wrong. تَوْقِيرُهُ وَكَفُّ اللِّسَانِ عَنْهُ. Over here, it says that the right of the husband is the woman to have respect for him, to honor him, and also to shut up when he tells her to stop talking and to hold her tongue. This is very important, because the Messenger of Allah said 3 people, three people make dua to Allah and they never going to get answered. From them, رَجُلٌ لَهُ امْرَأَةٌ سَيِّئَةُ خُلُقٍ فَلَمْ يُطَلِّقْهَا. The third one of them is a man who has a woman who has evil character and he doesn't divorce her. What? He makes dua, and his dua is not answered because he has a wife with evil khuluq, bad character, and he don't divorce her. And also whenever the woman bothers her husband, al-i'tiraf bi-fadlihi is another thing. The Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned, and it's لا يشكر الله من لا يشكر الناس. Whoever doesn't no one thanks Allah unless they thank the people. And then Allah's Messenger mentioned that a woman, sometimes he said perhaps that you were in your mother's house and your father's house for a long time without no husband, and you were getting older, you were afraid that you wasn't going to get married. Then Allah blessed you with a husband. And then Allah blessed you with a child. And then you turn around and have the audacity and the nerve to say to your husband, مَا رَأَيْتَ فِي مِنْكَ أَبْ خَيْرٍ قَطْ. I ain't never seen no good in you ever. It's triple negative. I've never seen no good in you ever. You have the nerve and the audacity to say that. This is a hadith from the Messenger of Allah. And ladies need to keep their mouths shut. One of the ladies came over here, Muhammad al-Banna, his wife. Muhammad al-Banna is another sheikh. He came and he brought his wife, and his wife was with the women. And she said, I haven't seen in my life more tough, more pitiful, more petty women in my life than I've seen in the women in America. Their whole thought is the sook. My whole thought is on how much shoes I'm going to go buy, what dress, how I'm going to spend some money, this dunya. I don't even hear Allah from none of them. And this is the case. And this is your fault. Again,